Namaskar, subject CPS 3 and CPS 4, Curriculum and Pedagogic Studies, School Subject English. We have started unit number 1, Aspects of English Language. Now we are going to study 1.2, that is poetry. Now we will learn definitions of poetry and the meaning of the poetry. So let's see 1.2, that is poetry. In this topic we have to cover some subtopic, that is definition of poetry. Then we have to study objectives of teaching poetry. Then we have to study types of poetry. Then we have to study steps in the teaching of poetry. And last one is that methods of teaching poetry, and again advantages of teaching poetry. These are the subtopics we have to cover in 1.2 poetry. So let's see definition of poetry. All of you know that what is poetry, but let's see the literary meaning of that poem. Let me ask two questions. What is poetry? Just memorize. We are not face to face to communicate, but let me ask, and you just imagine what it may be. What is poetry? And second question is that what is literature? These questions are very important while studying such topic. Let's see. When we see these two questions, the answer may be of this question may be the same, because in fact the answer to both this question may overlap. So poetry is perceived as fictional. That is, it means that we perceive it as a fictional art of literature. So it uses specialized language. In many cases it lacks a pragmatic function. It is also ambiguous. So it means that whatever we study the literature, or where we find that in poetry we find that that work is a fictional, totally fictional, and we have a specialized or special language form. So sometimes in many cases it lacks a pragmatic function. Pragmatic in the it is not possible for a practical point of view. So it also ambiguous. It creates ambiguous in our mind too. That type of language is used in a poetry. So musical and metrical form of language is poetry. Another important thing about the poetry is that the form of that literature is a musical or material. That is very important thing about the poetry. So poetry is a thing of beauty of form. So thought and emotions. Here through this form we are going to express our thoughts, emotions, and the form of expressing such thing is a beauty of form. So the formation of the poetry and the form of the poetry is a beautiful. So that is very important thing about the poetry. It is intimately limited with life. So it is a limited with the life also. So according to the Professor Urson, he says that poetry is made out of life, belong to life, and exists for life only. See, this is very important thing here explained by Urson. He says that poetry is made out of life. It means that whatever we have poems, they are formed, or they are made from the life events. It means that they are going to explain our life. So belong to life, it means that whatever the content we have, it belongs to the life and exists for life only. And it means that whatever we have studied the poem, it is exists in our day-to-day life. That is according to Professor Urson. So in other words, we may say that poetry is beauty. It is the beauty of language, beauty of thought, mood, or feeling. So it is the most intimate expression of man's spirit. So that is very important thing about the poem. So poetry is regarded as the noble thoughts and noble emotions caught in noble language. See, whatever the language we use to write the poem, it is the noble language. It means that as regarded as the noble thoughts, we are going to explain our thoughts, our emotions caught in noble languages. That is the beauty of the poetry. According to the Wordsworth, he says that poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It means that whatever we have written the poem, it is a spontaneously overflow of powerful feelings. Whatever the feelings we have in our mind, we are spontaneously going to explain through this form of literature. So that is according to the Wordsworth, he says. Then according to the Robert Frost, he says that poetry begins in delight and ends in wisdom. See, it is very important thing. It begins in delight, and ends in wisdom. So it means that delight in the sense, suppose we are very happy, then we use language to express our uh, feelings and emotions, that delightness. So and ends in wisdom, and at last we are going to say some message to the readers. That is, it means that it begins in delight and ends in wisdom. Then the importance in the classroom is that it brings the student into contact with the human nature, and also with the feelings and aspiration of great souls. So this is the very important thing, that why do we teach in classroom, because we introduce it in the classroom to the student. It brings students to into the contact with the human nature. How the human nature is, we are going to explain using this form of literature, and also with the feelings of that human nature. So that the important thing we are going to teach in poetry. It enriches their emotional life and develops the aesthetic sense among them. Again, through this form of literature, we are going to develop, we are going to enriches the emotional life of the student, and we are going to develop the aesthetic sense among them too. So students get pleasure through rhythm and rhyme of poetry. So poetry has a rhythm, rhyme, and through that rhythm we are going to take the pleasure. That is the beauty of the poem. So according to the Professor S. Subramaniam, he says that poetry leads an all-round development of the whole personality of the pupils, particularly the emotional, imaginative, intellectual, aesthetic, and intuitive side. So this is another very important meaning or definition of the poem. He says that poetry leads an all-round development of the whole personality. See, when we call a well-developed personality, when he has all his development is in a all-round. It means the all-round development in the sense, it means that he has a proper adjustment, proper sense of emotional development. That is very important thing of the pupils, particularly the emotional, imaginative, intellectual, aesthetic, and intuitive side. We have all these sides must be developed among the personality. So these things are not there, then we cannot say it is a all-round development personality. So emotional, imaginative, intellectual, aesthetic, all these things are very important in a person, and these traits are developed through the poetry. So that is the definition of the Professor S. Subramaniam. So these are the definitions, some definition of some great persons have explained about the poetry. Students get pleasure through rhythm and rhyme of poetry. Hence, poetry occupies an important place in school curriculum too. So, poetry not only contains the content, the theme, or the subject matter, but also the way it is recited, the rhythm, and the special beauty and the music, the poetic diction, etc. So, these are the things we have find in the poetry. Now, according to the Coleridge, he defines poetry as the best words in their best orders. So that is the simple definition or meaning of the poetry, that the best words in their best orders. Whatever the words we have used in the poetry, those words are the best and in their best order. Whatever the place of that word in a poetry or that stanza, that place is also the in best order. So that is the simple. It means that we got the rhythm through the stanzas, and that's why it is called as the best words in their best order. So these are the important things of the poetry. Poetry conveys the poet's imagination, mood and feelings through words as well as music. So these are to be conveyed to the learners while teaching a poetry. This is where the teaching of poetry differs from teaching of prose. So that is the difference between the prose and poetry. While teaching the poetry, we have a beauty of language. While teaching of prose, we have a structure, grammar is there. So that is the different points of view. So that is the beauty of each form of the literature. The focus of prose lesson is more on teaching language, but the aim of poetry lesson is appreciation or enjoyment. This is the two form, but they have the different aims of teaching it. So teaching of poetry should be lively. So poetry has three aspects, that is emotional, imaginative and rhythmic. See, how should it should be lively? Because it has a three important aspects. That first aspect is that the emotional aspect, and second one is that the imaginative, and third is that the rhythmic. So these three aspects are very important in the form of a poetry. So using these three aspects, that is, it means that taken any poem, we have so many emotional aspects are there, emotions of the writer are explained in there. Then the imagination of that poet are going to explain through in that poem, and rhythm is there. Each poem has a rhythmic, that is, these three aspects are very important in the poetry. So whatever I have present the definitions and meaning of the poetry, I have took some references from these websites and books. You can study these books and websites to take more in detail. So thank you very much.